An art feast is what the Art Incubator is serving at an exhibition currently taking place at the gallery in Lagos. The artist works with other creatives to put up this show, which is amazing, I must add. And then we move to the City Mall in Lagos Island, where the big wigs gathered to see young photographers being encouraged to pursue their craft through the Fashola Photographic Foundation. We'll see that and more on today's edition of the program. A warm welcome. I'm Melinda Akinlami.
I don't see how art can be called art if its purpose is to frustrate humanity.
Most of you have seen exhibitions with performances on the sidelines, but this one raised the bar as it infused a lot more than expected.
Energy. That's what Sadiq Williams exudes when he's hard at work. In this live painting session, he applies the martial art technique and the multi-dimensional approach. Notice the brush strokes, the color, black and white, because that's seen in the other works of art in this exhibition titled Memoirs of a Black Box, which is the outcome of years of research for this man who has his hands in many pies.
I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I studied architecture. I got my Part 1 from Kingston University, Surrey-upon-Thames. I've gone into music, filmmaking, and event management. I've also got a Prince 2 in project management, so it helps me funnel my creative energy and my impulses. So what I say to people is, when I'm not in the art scenes, I'm a project manager with a background in architecture, filmmaking, music, etc., etc.
And the idea behind Memory of a Black Box is to delve into notions. First of all, the 4 elements, mind, body, spirit, and then also to delve into notions of identity, appropriation, negritude, and also to use this as a means to question, our role in the world as Black people.
In his first solo exhibition, many questions plague his mind, especially concerning the identity of the black man whom he feels is not loud and proud enough about his achievements.
First of all, we're trying to question our notion, what does it mean to be African? Do we really have an identity? And how are we sort of storing our identity for the next generation? What are we storing? What information? How do we delve into our history as Black people? Those are like the issues that we're trying to delve into, using this as a means to actually engage people in dialogue. And I feel that the more conversations that we have, the more we begin to question the effect of colonization on us and how this has affected our identity as Black people.
We have similar mythology. When you talk about Shango being likened to Thor, the Asgardian god, we have these characters in movies. We go and pay tickets to watch these movies, but we don't want to create or empower our own. Why can't we have a superhero movie of Shango or Olokun or Yemoja, our female immortals?
The colors are deliberate. His works of art show that when all is said and done, what legacy will we leave behind? That passion to find an answer is something he cannot hide even when working.
With the bodies of work over there titled Palm Fist of a Black Star, and I use martial arts techniques to paint. I don't necessarily always use a paintbrush. I paint energetic in more ways than one. Some people say I remind them of Mr. Jackson Pollock, the late Jackson Pollock, the great Jackson Pollock. But I dare say I add more action into what I do, and I'm paying homage in as much as I'm drawing from Asian or Western influences to my culture, to the Yorubas and the Edos, and to Nigeria and Africa. These paintings you see here are part of a series, so I work in configurations using my architectural mindset. So I fuse my skill sets. So what you see is part architecture, part history, part filmmaking, part fusion of everything that I've come across in my journey through life.
A black box is a device which can be viewed in terms of its input and outputs without any knowledge of its internal workings. Its implementation is opaque, and it's what experts rely on when a plane crashes or disappears. Almost anything might be referred to as a black box: a transistor, an algorithm, or the human brain. But this artist has chosen the canvas.
We've been able to create a story based on the narrative of Memoirs of the Black Box. The idea is you are now in a world. So the imagining is, if we all passed away, what would a black box say? Because I'm pushing on from inspirations and heroes of mine like Ben and Wonwu and the Zara Rebels, notions of negritude. I want to pick up the baton and continue with the narrative. Who are we as a people? Where are we as a people? Where are we going as a people? The sense of cultural context, our history, and where I believe we should be moving on. So the black box does what? It always records facts and truths.
And if the audience thought that was all to show, think again, because there's more. The gallery becomes a stage where a performance about the issues hanging on the wall breathe life.
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. I've no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets? When we stand aside and look, some say it's just a part of it. You've got to fulfill the book. So come on, please help me sing another song of freedom. It's all I ever had. Redemption.
Experience leaves no divide between artist and audience as they move into the crowd, which is typical of African theatre.
Beautiful.
Guests take in each scene and then something new graces the stage. Martial arts moving to the rhythm of the talking drum. The costume, similar to the ones worn by the thespians who are at a corner.
What they're trying to do is to explore what's inside our mind, our body, and our spirit. Everybody has something unique and different, and if we could bring out what is inside us in terms of art or in terms of poetry, in terms of music, then the world would be a better place. Our musicians, they don't try to But what about our artists? What about our spoken word people? So we're trying to bring out you from you.
Winnie Winnie lójú orogún.
Winnie Winnie lójú orogún.
Èjìwòrò lójú ìyá rẹ̀.
Èjìwòrò lójú ìyá rẹ̀.
Ọ̀bẹ kìsì bẹ́kẹ́sẹ́.
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 Ọ̀fẹsẹ̀ méjèèjì bẹ́ sílé alákìsà.
Ọ̀fẹsẹ̀ méjèèjì bẹ́lẹ̀ alákìsà.
Ọmọ sọ alákìsà di oní igbá aṣọ.
Ọmọ sọ alákìsà di oní igbá aṣọ.
And when the curtain call, an applause is heard as the artists give themselves a pat on the back for a job well done.
I know you really are amazed to see all those elements rolled up into one. They deserve the compliments because they worked so hard to put that together. And it's nice to see creatives coming together to tell a story.